it's the growth mindset that helps us move in that direction.
Well, I think that speaks to as well, going back to making a resolution because you feel like it's something that you have to do.
Yeah.
We all have to make money and do the tasks that lead to that and paying bills, but that speaks to being able to do it in a different way. Like think outside the box of how can I accomplish the same thing that I both want and need, but maybe it's in a different way.
Well, and I would challenge people that think it has, the paying the bills and we got to pay bills. I'm going to challenge y'all to pay your bills because I don't want to pay them for you. But
it is a challenge.
We associate, I feel like, for so many of us, we associate career, work, and everything with work. Like we have to work at it. I really honestly believe that if you use the gifts God gave you and you're doing, like, really follow those nudges, you can love what you do. I absolutely love. Are there days I'm stressed? For sure. Are there days where, I don't really have a ton of difficult clients because I'll fire them, but there definitely is challenge. There's a challenge in building a business. I've had my practice for 13 years. It certainly has had ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, I genuinely love it. I love the people I work with. And even if you're in corporate America, you can find that. There are companies and cultures out there. And if you don't like it, you're not actually, the same client I was talking about, she said that her dad or sister or somebody said that if you don't like it, you're not a tree, you're not planted, get up and move. So look at that. I mean, maybe the resolution, or I don't want to say resolution, the intentional change you need to make next year as you renew things is looking at your environment. Is your career giving you what you want? Does it look the way you want it to? Are the people in your life, do they look the way you want it to? Or there's some people that need to be strategically exited?
Yeah.
Burn some bridges. We ride at dawn. Here we go. Right? I mean, there's some people and things and companies that aren't meant to be with us for our whole lives.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So when you think about going into next year and with I won't put you on the spot with maybe I will. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, do you automatically go to thinking about the things, or do you have the vision of, like, here's what I want, Whitney 2023 to look like? Where do you go to first?
Yeah, I think I lean toward the result of what I want it to look like.
Yep.
And then back up from there on how I get there. I think probably what I can work on is backing up to those steps. So, for example, if the whole reason I'd like to go to bed earlier is to be able to feel refreshed when I get up in the morning.
So that's your goal.
So my goal is feeling refreshed, which means it's possible for me. I do like to get up early. I'm kind of an early riser, and that's just where my energy is. But again, in order to do that, that means it actually starts the night before, which is going to bed at a decent time.
Yeah.
But then it continues to back up of, for me to be able to do that, my mind's got to be relaxed, which means I can't work to 8:30. Yeah. So sometimes I don't back up far enough to think about the process of, actually, it doesn't necessarily start with when you get up or when you go to bed. It's also those activities that happen before that.
Yes. And we want to also not just back up, but we want to think forward.
Yes.
So I want you to start thinking about, and everybody listening to think about, what does it look like when I hit this? So instead of focusing on lack, instead of focusing, I'm tired, I stay up too late, I don't have energy, focus on what it's going to look like and assume you're already there. I am super energetic. I'm up at 8, by 6, I'm this, I'm that. Talk it into existence. I know that sounds woo-woo, and y'all listening, I'm going to get some, I'm going to get some emails because Miss Strategy Girl, every time I go woo-woo, people, I know exactly who's going to comment too, because we know exactly the emails I get and from who when I start going woo-woo. But it really is that. Like, I'm starting to realize that because I fought the woo for the longest time, right? I'll fight foo all day long, but the woo-woo I was against.
That's a shirt. Don't fight the woo.
Don't fight the woo, right? It's just like the woo fighters. Is that a copyright infringement?
Fantastic.
We have to call Dave Grohl, see if we can use
He'll
that. The woo fighters. But I didn't fight it, but I'm embracing it more now because I'm realizing the tie. They're not mutually exclusive. And, we have Erin, my friend, who's a mindset coach, and she helps a lot with that. And we've had her in to speak to our Renew community before. And we kind of tease each other because I always go to strategy. But I will say the last couple years, blending the two has helped because you've got to really know, you've got to be able to vision what you want it to look like, but then you've got to talk that way, because we'll vision all day long, and people will say, oh, I want this, I'm going to do this. And then they're like, well, last year this, or this prior client this. And then I'm like, well, now you're back here. So let's start our year. Let's renew our year by thinking about, here's what it's going to look like. Here's what the end of 2023 Kristen looks like. Because I got a really good looking little black dress we're going to rock. So, right? If I'm going to Italy, might as well go looking good.
Yeah.
So what are the things I need to do to make that happen? To speak it into existence. That's getting all woo-woo. Speak it into existence, Whitney.